Hi, everyone. I just wanted to come on here um, as I just felt inspired. I was just actually having a conversation with my sister about uh, something that we share in similarity is this like inner critic. We all have our inner critic, right? We all have that lower mind or that little voice that tells us how shitty we are. Um, and a lot of us don't talk about this, right? Like I learned about all this stuff about a little over 10 years ago, about 12 years ago. And once I started like kind of going inward and getting onto my healing journey, meditation is one thing that made me become aware of this inner voice and also just sitting in circle with other humans and having these conversations and realizing that we all have shitty thoughts. um, and depending on your family system, um, some of us were kind of, in a sense, not necessarily told that we have this inner critic, right? But that even if we think that we can't do something or that we're not good enough or people don't like us or what have you, whatever little story is going on, that we could like override that, right? And it's really interesting what our mind does. It could completely like debilitate us, right? Like I I feel like I lost a lot of time um because in the past because I like listened to this voice in my head that told me that like no one liked me and that I wasn't smart enough or that I had nothing as my sister would say, right? Like to bring to the table. And we were having this conversation recently where I was like, oh, like you keep bringing up in this certain in these specific situations, like this is what you're feeling and this is what's going on for you, and then you are in your head and you can't like, or you can't like be in the moment with whoever you're with because your inner critic is telling you that no one likes you and no one gives a shit what you say. And I know how that feels, and it feels shitty and scary and sad. And I just wanted to let anyone know who feels like that you're not alone. And you don't have to feel like that. And you don't have to believe that little voice that tells you that because it's not true. Um, People think you're amazing because you are amazing. I think we're all amazing in our own little ways. Um, and again, like I feel like I lost a lot of time with a lot of people and maybe missed out on relationships. And still to this day, I feel like I keep some people at a distance because I still have that. Like, even with people that I know, like, love me and think I'm amazing, I still have this little voice that's like, no, they don't like you. And I recently started to want to understand what was going on inside of me and in my mind because that's been with me since I was a teenager. And I'm now, I'll be 43 next week or in 2 weeks. And I really want to shift that. It's been the hardest thing for me to shift in my life. And it affects my relationships. It affects my relationships with friends, family, with my own partner. And yeah, I was just like, I really want to work on this one aspect of my being currently. And I read this book recently called From Surviving to Thriving, CPTSD, so complex CPTSD. And I come from a verbally abusive family system where I was the bad one, right? If like if my parents were having an argument and I wasn't even like there, and then I like show up, it's like, oh, I'm I'm the one who caused the argument. I'm the problem. I'm always the problem. Um, I was told very negative things about myself a lot. I learned to not trust my inner self, unfortunately, at a young age. But I also like knew that was all bullshit somehow. Um, and yeah, I led me down this road eventually, right? Like I definitely numbed myself for a really long time because again, I didn't think that anyone liked me or that I had anything to share with this world. Um, and that's a load of shit. And it's not true. And that's not true for anyone. I believe every single person has something to share with this world. And yeah, starting to, like I said, read this book and understand what was going on, I was like, oh, I understand why I'm the way I am, and I have the power to shift that. I just have to be persistent. It's not something that might ever go away. I might always have that little voice, but as the years have gone on, and the more and more I become an awareness, and the more and more I work with my thought patterns, and the more and more I rewire my brain through meditation and different practices of mindfulness, the less and less I succumb to that voice. Again, it's been challenging, I won't lie, but I've had some really amazing, safe people to open up to about that. And so they don't take it personally when I pull away or I might not call them back or whatnot. And it's kind of, like I said, at times it's been debilitating. Like I literally like won't pick up the phone to call someone that I want to talk to because I'm afraid they don't want to talk to me. Which might sound crazy, and I'm being extremely vulnerable. But I know there's other people that feel this way. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. I know my sister sometimes feels this way. So I just wanted to let anyone who hears this know that like you're not alone and there are ways to shift this. It just takes practice and persistence. So if you want to share or if you want to connect, I help coach people in this. Yeah. Or you just like need ideas or resources, right? Like go talk in a group, whatever that means, right? That could mean like a women's group, that could mean um, a support group of sorts for anything, really. And just connecting with people and listening to other people is really helpful. And it was really helpful for me to start realizing that I wasn't alone. First, I didn't talk very much in those groups. I did a lot of crying, which actually felt really good. And now I talk in these groups and lead these groups. So I just want to encourage you and know that people like you, people love you, you have something to contribute to this world. Have a wonderful day.